are marginalized communities most affected by climate change. Imagine living in a neighborhood where floods happen more often, heat waves feel unbearable, and health services are hard to access. Now picture being part of a group already facing social and economic hurdles. That's the reality for many marginalized communities when it comes to climate change. Research shows these groups, including racial and ethnic minorities, low-income families, indigenous peoples, older adults, and immigrants, face the worst impacts. They often live in places more exposed to climate risks like flood zones, drought-prone areas, or urban heat islands. These locations are becoming more dangerous as sea levels rise and storms grow stronger. Because they have fewer resources, these communities struggle to prepare for disasters. They lack the money for better housing, air conditioning, or flood defenses. When a flood or storm hits, they often lose homes or jobs and find it harder to recover. This leads to deeper poverty and more health problems. Health issues are a big concern. Heat waves can cause heat stroke or dehydration, especially for those living in poorly built housing without cooling systems. Air pollution from factories or traffic worsens respiratory problems, which already hit vulnerable groups hardest. Waterborne diseases can spread more easily after floods, putting children and the elderly at risk. Economically, these communities have less cushion to bounce back. A flood can wipe out crops or small businesses, leaving families with little hope of rebuilding. Geographic location also plays a role. Many marginalized groups live in coastal areas or dry regions where climate change makes conditions worse. Rising sea levels threaten their homes, while droughts can ruin farming livelihoods. Social inequalities also limit their influence. These groups often have less say in climate policies and fewer channels to access aid. This means their needs are sometimes overlooked when governments plan responses. Liberal ideas stress fairness and equal rights. To fight climate change effectively, policies must include these vulnerable groups. That means investing in resilient infrastructure, making sure everyone has access to clean energy and health care, and involving communities in decision-making. Practical steps include creating programs that prioritize the needs of marginalized populations. For example, building flood defenses in vulnerable neighborhoods or providing affordable cooling systems during heat waves. Ensuring equitable access to disaster relief and clean water is also key. Supporting community-led efforts helps empower those most affected. When marginalized voices are heard, policies become more inclusive and effective. In the end, climate change hits marginalized communities hardest because of where they live and their limited resources. Addressing this imbalance is essential for a fair and sustainable future. A liberal approach focuses on fairness, inclusion, and protecting everyone's rights, especially those most at risk.